Hey, here we are again. Welcome back. So, let's talk about freedom. While it is the absence of restrictions imposed by others, it still requires one's self to be restrained, right? So what does that mean? We're talking about freedom. Thomas Jefferson was a man said to be quiet and always striving under the rigorous discipline of freedom. So what he's talking about is, just because you're free doesn't mean we can do whatever we want. That's not how things work. We still need some sort of a compass to go by. Now, while some people have religion and others don't, everyone can be led astray. Everyone can lose their ethics and individual responsibility. I don't care if you're in the church. I don't care if you're a school teacher. Everyone can be victim to their own ideals and their own ideas of what their sense of freedom is, and impose restrictions upon others. So, how do we limit that? What are ethics? Who are we? What are the ethics we should live by? Now, there are some obvious truths. Don't rape, don't steal, don't murder, okay? And those aren't coming out of the commandments or some religious text. That's pretty much what you wouldn't want to have done to you. So, in a lot of places, it's, do not do unto others as they wish you would do to them, correct? Or one of those many different versions of that saying. So we don't want to do to somebody else something that we wouldn't have done to us, right? And I think that's where it starts. But that's where our ethics begin. That's not the end. That's not the end-all be-all. But, a lot of people think religion's going to guide them. A lot of people think that other people's religion is the only reason they don't do bad things. Well, that's not the case. How about we just be good human beings? Isn't that, we're all on the same planet. We're all still human. I fail to see how just because someone's an atheist, they don't have to live by guidelines that are dictated in religion. I don't see how religious figures think because they are religious that they don't have to live by their own laws. Their own, actually, I wouldn't even say laws, their own guidelines on how they're supposed to live. Right now we've got websites that censor some people's content, but not others. So, let's take a look at what freedom really is all about. We don't want to restrict anyone's freedom unless absolutely necessary. That's what freedom is, right? That's what liberty is. And we talked a minute ago about all the factions and how liberty allows these factions to exist. That's fine. But once one faction starts imposing things on another based on only that, then we have a problem. We've lost this. We've lost our ethics. Businesses do things that are unethical every day. But then again, political parties do things that are unethical every single day. So where do we go? We're always blaming another faction for our own problems. We're always trying to play the victim, or at least in the world, that's what it's become. What if we take responsibility for our own actions? What if we live by our own code of ethics? What if we value quantity and not quantity again? But that has to come from us. That has to come from the individual level. Because you see, in all politics, in all education systems, they're always reflective of the people. Because those people push their leaders to the point where, okay, we will have to do something about this. It comes from the individual. Let's value the individual again on his or her own merits. We're talking about a society that says, well, because you are in this class of politics, religion, race, income, you are automatically given a set of virtues that is assigned to you, correct? That's what this whole big debate is. But the thing is each person is different. Each person has their own virtues that somebody else might not have. Just because you come from some tribe or faction, and that tribe is known for X, Y, Z, I don't know that about you. Not at least until you prove it. I think we need to get back to the individual. We need to get back to understanding that each individual is responsible for oneself. That each individual is responsible for, for the most part, their own destiny. Yes, I get it. In castes and in different areas, it's hard to rise from the ashes, but it's still possible. It's always possible, especially places like America. That's what we've done best. That is the absolute core essence of our culture. If we take that away, we lose humanity. we lose ourselves. And I get it. Everyone wants to belong to a tribe. I understand that. But here's the greatest thing about what the American social experiment did and the American experiment in politics. We ascended that from day one. When Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, he was a humanist. He was an optimist. He knew that humanity could and should ascend it. We had things that happened wrong. I get it. I got it. Don't dwell on it. Okay? We've done just about everything we can. There probably could be things we could do better. But also, you have to think to yourself, has someone violated their own ethics in telling you the story of what happened? Is there another story? I'm not going to tell you if there is or not, at least not yet. I want you to ask, I want you to go and find out if there's another story, if there's another way, or if the truth that we have been told is not truth at all. And in fact, it is a distorted story. We'll call it an eloquent lie. That in fact things were different than we believe. That it was used to push an ideology, whether intentional or not. An ideology of either one side or the other. Both sides are guilty of it. So now, let us look at the actual history. Let's look at the history that's not in your textbooks. Because as far as I'm concerned, the textbooks were written by men that had an agenda to sell textbooks to institutions that had one narrative. And we're finding out very quickly that almost every single narrative in the social and political structure that we've been told in our universities and textbooks could be wrong. Could be wrong. I don't want to say it is, but I want you to think about it. I'm not anti-establishment, I'm not anti-government. But I think we need to find the truth. I think we need to be humans and love each other again as humans if we're to survive this whole thing together. Everyone keeps saying we're in tumultuous times. Well, they're right. But here's the thing. We're not really looking at that yet. We haven't gotten that. So let's start this journey. Let's go from the beginning, go up through. Talk about the real history, what really happened. We'll cite resources, and we'll go through it. I'll see you next time. Sorry.